Welcome back to the Lumi Post, where we talk about all things Pokemon, and today we're going to be talking about the 10 wonders of the Sinnoh region. This is a thing that we've been doing for each region for a while now. It all started with Scarlet and Violet, where the Pokemon Company officially did this for Paldea and Kitakami, and it just kind of is a nice way to, I guess, build the world of Scarlet and Violet and kind of show off, hey, this is the big deal in this region. And today we're at the Sinnoh region. So first off, starting out, it was the first one I thought of, oddly enough, and that is the Munchlax Rock in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, or the Snorlax Rock in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Don't know why they chose to evolve this rock, but they did. But yeah, I think that this is like kind of the first wonder really in a Pokemon game that I can remember. Like, I remember it was one of those things that it's really cool that they did it, and I think even an NPC kind of references, oh, you know, that rock looks like a Pokemon or something, but it's not important to the game at all. Like, nothing happens there. There's no special event if you know, click A on it. It doesn't have an item anywhere near. It's not special at all. It's just literally them giving some character to the Sinnoh region, to Sunny Shore City, and giving just a little more life into the game, making it a little more immersive. So I really, really like that, and absolutely it's going to be on this list. Next up on this list is the Floaroma Meadow. Now, Floaroma Town is beautiful. It itself could be a wonder, I feel like, but the Floaroma Meadow, is just stunning. I mean, all these flower fields, and I feel like if we had gotten to see this in the, like, current style, the 3D style of today, instead of getting the chibi remakes of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I feel like this one will be indisputable. Just all those flowers spanning across this giant field. Just, I mean, gorgeous. I love it. And the fact that they're there year-round, right? Like, that's just normal. That's not a springtime. That's all year round. So, absolutely, Floaroma Meadow, it's a wonder. Now, if you were screaming one at the screen right now, you're like, hey, this one has to be one, it's very likely the summit of Mount Coronet, or rather Spear Pillar specifically, formerly the Temple of Sinnoh. Now, Spear Pillar is just stunning because it's this landmark that has so much history to it. You know, it was there even before the days of Hisui. It was like from the Celestica people. And now the ruin still kinda stands. You know, it's torn apart a bit, but it still kinda stands, and it's just impressive that it's up there, all the way up at the top of Mount Coronet. Not only that, but I imagine the view from up there is incredible. You could probably see all of the Sinnoh region from up there, or at least a good bit of it. And so, yeah, this is an obvious one. It also has so much ties to Sinnoh lore and Sinnoh legends that it's indisputable as well. It's got to be a wonder. I think my favorite thing about the Sinnoh region, honestly, is that, right? It just feels so ancient. It feels like history's everywhere, and there's so much mythos and lore to the region. And so, naturally, there's going to be other wonders that are similar to that. First off, we have the Salacion ruins over in, or right by Salacion Town. And these are just impressive just because they have so much Johtonian culture there in the Sinnoh region. You know, this was very likely built by the same people who built the Senjo ruins and the ruins of Alpha and Johto, maybe even the Tanobi ruins over in the Sevii Islands. So the fact that Sinnoh is lucky enough to get one of these unknown ruins is impressive in itself. And just the unknown are such interesting Pokemon. I mean, we're talking about a little guy that, you know, isn't that powerful in battle, but outside of battle, he can rewrite reality. And so the fact that they're just commonplace all over these ruins, you can just easily run into wild ones there, that's very mysterious, and the ruins themselves have a lot of mystery to them. It's a wonder. Now, the next ruin that I want to talk about is over in Celestic Town, and it is the Celestic Town ruins. They have these ruins there that you actually have an encounter with Cyrus at. I think that these are very impressive, and I like that the town has kind of built itself around these ruins, right? And that's just cool, and I think illustrates how important history, lore, and mythos is to the Sinnoh people, that they wouldn't go in and, you know, tear down the ruins. They would build their town around it, and kind of in a way that almost is like protecting the ruins, you know what I mean? So it's just a lovely illustration of not only Sinnoh's history, but also of how much respect for Sinnoh's history the people of Celestic Town have today. Before we go any further, I do want to address the elephant in the room, and that is the 3 lakes of Sinnoh. There are 3 lakes in Sinnoh that are very, very pretty, and also, you know, have a legendary Pokemon living there. So they are all definitely contenders for a wonder status. Those are, of course, Lake Acuity, Lake Verity, and Lake Valor. I didn't go with these just because it was like, it felt kind of cheap to do, you know, all 3 of them on that. That's 3 of 10 slots, but then also I couldn't just pick one and not do the others. So if you have them on your list, or one of them on your list, that's great. You know, I think that's a solid choice, but it's definitely not going to be on mine. Make sure you are showing your list in the comments below, though. Over in Pastoria City, we have the Great Marsh. The Great Marsh is absolutely a wonder. It's this giant landscape with marshes. You can take a trolley around it. There's tons of wild Pokemon that live here. Really cool wild Pokemon, too. And it's clearly a treasure of the Sinnoh people and the people of Pastoria. It's clearly their big attraction, so there's no shot that the Great Marsh wasn't going to be on this list. Moving back over to Floaroma Town, I do normally try to space these out, but right next to the Floaroma Town is the Valley Windworks, and the Valley Windworks, while not too impressive in game, we have gotten concept art that just shows how beautiful these places would be in real life. And you know, the whole purpose of this series is to make the Pokemon world a little more real, right? And so I feel like in real life, the Valley Windworks would be this stunning field of windmills and would be absolutely, indisputably on this list. Now, moving into a kind of more creepy vibe, we have the Sinnoh Springs. I think that the Sinnoh Spring is a gorgeous place, but also has that eerie, you know, creepy vibe. Maybe that's just the music that they're playing. It's like the same music as the music that plays in the Old Chateau, but it's got this foggy kind of feel to it, and there's also these ruins, and then those ruins are said to have like a portal to another dimension where Satan lives. So it is by definition a wonder, you know? I mean, it's an incredible place, a mystical place, a beautiful place, but a haunting place. It's like a Pokemon of places. Now, I always like to try to, on this list, not just talk about landmarks, but also some really pretty cities or routes that are in the Pokemon world. And I think the most beautiful route in Sinnoh is Route 208. This is the route that is in between Mount Coronet and Hearthome City. This is, I mean, I just remember as a kid coming out of Mount Coronet and just all these bridges, waterfalls all around me, and being like, oh my gosh, we are not in Gen 3 anymore. I mean, it's so stunning. And to imagine it again in like the Sword and Shield or the Scarlet and Violet style, or certainly in like the real world, I can't even. I mean, that's just incredible. So it absolutely makes my list. Now, lastly, we have over in Orberg City, the Orberg Mines. The Orberg Mines, I feel like, were also just, I mean, Sinnoh in general was just this big step for the franchise, right? The cities had so much more life than they did in the past, and the Orberg Mines was kind of a nice example of that. It shows the resources of the Sinnoh region. It shows, again, kind of the history of it, because they're digging up fossils and coal and all this stuff, you know, ancient stuff here. But also shows how technologically advanced the Sinnoh region also is, and it's a cool place to be, right? You have that giant rock in the middle and stuff. So yeah, I absolutely would have Orberg Mines on my list. Again, be sure to let me know in the comments what your list of the wonders of Sinnoh would be, and let me know what you think of mine. Gotta be honest, I think Sinnoh is the hardest region that I've done so far, just in terms of, I don't know, to be honest, while the Sinnoh region is amazing, I didn't feel like it had things quite on the scope of especially the Hoenn or Johto regions. But yeah, let me know your list. Let me know what you think of mine. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so that I know that you want more of these for Kalos and Alola and Unova and Galar and all of those. And until next time, I will see all of you later.